Are you looking for ways to help your kids practice their reading, supplement your current material, or even potentially just use an app for curriculum for reading for your kiddos? Well, today I want to share with you guys my favorite resources when it comes to helping your kids work on their letter sounds and learning to read. I have used all of these as supplemental resources at different points along my journey, and I want to share what I like about each one and how they kind of compare. So let's get started. Be sure to stick around because number 5 is definitely my all-time favorite, and I can't wait to share it with you. Number 1 is probably the one that you are most familiar with, and this is ABC Mouse. It starts at ages 2 all the way up to 8. This is a very popular one that many people have used. It is an app and a website where your child can follow along the learning path to be able to learn different skills, not only reading, but to learn shapes, to learn social studies, math, science, art, and so much more. This one is considered to be like an all-inclusive curriculum. I personally have only ever used it supplementally. I know that at least for my kids, learning through an app is probably not the absolute best way that they can learn, but it is a great way to get a lot of review in. So this is a great option. It comes in at around $12.99 a month, or they do have a yearly purchase price. But a tip is they often run deals where you can get an entire year for only like $40. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Another thing you want to keep in mind when looking at these different apps is how many students they allow you to have under that app. This can be really critical, especially if you are in a large family with more kids in the same age range. So with ABC Mouse, they allow you to have 3 kids in the app and 1 parent account. The pros of this app is that it is so many things all in one app. It is nice that it does go through and it is very easy to use. They've really done a great job making it very user-friendly. Your child can work through these things and they even have additional printables that you can use to kind of work on extra skills. The con is that at least when my kids were younger and utilizing this app, there were a couple of my kids who were extra smart and were able to kind of work around the game aspect of it. And they could get through the different levels in the games without actually being able to learn the material. Now, I think this is just one of the things that can happen with apps. And we have to recognize our part in that and our child's part in that. And if we want to use this as a primary learning resource, we need to be utilizing that alongside them. I'll get more to that here in just a second, but this is a great option if you are looking for something to add to your homeschool. Number 2 is Nessie. Now, Nessie is formatted a little bit different. While it is similar to ABC Mouse in the sense that it is a whole game, they go through different learning paths and different levels to learn different skills. It is something that is divided by the different topics. So you don't purchase one price and get everything all together. You can individually get reading, writing, spelling, and typing. They have different programs depending on which one you select that can go anywhere from 4 years old all the way up to 14. They also have a lot of resources for parents when it comes to things, trainings and ideas and resources on dyslexia and dysgraphia. So it's definitely one that appealed to me for those reasons since we have several kids who struggle with that. I did really enjoy this program. The price is a little steep. Like I mentioned, you have to purchase each individual subject and you have to purchase it by child. So it's $13 a month for many of their different subjects, and then that's per kid. So that can add up very quickly. Now they do have bundles for both the year and for multiple subjects at once. Those are definitely the better deals to go for. And frankly, if you are considering Nessie, I highly consider waiting till their Black Friday sale and just taking advantage of that because they slash the prices considerably during that season. This one does also offer printables for you to do for extra activities, and so that is definitely a great feature. The pros are if you are just looking for one subject, you don't have to mess with all the other material and filter through it or worry about your child spending extra time utilizing parts of the website that you don't want them to use. Another pro is that they do have a lot of really neat resources when it comes to dyslexia and dysgraphia, and I particularly enjoyed a lot of their parent trainings, and you can just get that totally separate from any of the apps. I did appreciate the fact that at least with Nessie, they did do an evaluation with your child online and then place them where they thought they should be in the program. I also found that my kids were not able to get past the games as easily when it came to this, especially for the older kids. I didn't have any younger kids using it, so I didn't get that like side-by-side comparison there, but I had older kids using it and I found that they really were forced to know the material. Besides the price, which can be a little bit of a con, especially if you're wanting to use this as a supplemental resource. I found for my oldest son, he had so many different needs that were very splintered, I guess, so to speak. So, he has struggles in writing and in reading and in spelling, and all of these different components combined made it where he often got frustrated or felt like he was struggling in all of the areas. Now, he is kind of an exception to a rule. He is definitely a more severe case, not only of dyslexia, but autism, as well as auditory processing issues. So I want to be clear that I think for most kids, this program will work great, but for him, it was not a good fit. Next up is Teacher Monster to Read. This is actually a fun website and app as well. The website is actually free from my understanding, and then if you want to purchase the app, you can do so for a one-time $6 cost. The nice thing about this is it's not ongoing. You're just going to get exactly what you need that one time, and you can always utilize the website for free. I personally like having the app because it allows me to kind of protect the environment a little bit more. I don't have to worry about pop-ups or my kids accidentally going to different websites. So that is something to consider when deciding which one you want to go with, but you could definitely try it out online first or use their free light version of the app to try it out. With this is actually created by Usborne, ages 3 to 6. It's going to walk them through, it's really 3 games in one, and it's going to walk them through the different levels of learning your letter sounds, to going into phonogram blends, to actually going into making words. This is a fun one. It is definitely meant to be supplemental, 100%. ABC Mouse and Nessie both claim that they can be your reading curriculum, but this one does not, from my understanding. It is meant to be supplemental. It's to work alongside whatever curriculum you use. The pro of this one is obviously the price. It is a fantastic price, and it is nice that you are able to utilize it, at least to my understanding, to all of your kids. I could not find any kind of limitation on the website as to how many user accounts you can have, so that's really helpful for large families. The cons. The cons are it doesn't have as many of the features that some of the other ones have. It doesn't have the printables or downloads for extra learning. It doesn't go as big of a range as some of the other ones do, but that doesn't mean it can't be a fantastic tool for your homeschool. All right, my absolute favorite reading app, and I have tried a lot. I have tried more than the ones I'm sharing with you guys here in this video, but my absolute favorite reading app that I've ever tried is reading.com, because what I didn't like about other apps in the past, this app addressed. Remember how I said most kids are not going to learn really well without some parent involvement. We weren't initially designed, right, to just like have a screen and go. If that works for your kids, great, but for most of my kids, they could learn things from them, and they could do a lot of review and really help them to kind of put things to memory, but actually learning the concepts and being able to apply it elsewhere, I have yet to see happen without child to parent interaction. And that's what reading.com does. No, this is not a sponsored video. They have no idea I'm making this video even, but it is just one that I've absolutely loved. So the way this one is done is it is set aside a lot more like a typical curriculum. You are supposed to do this with your child about 15 to 20 minutes a day. Now, if your child is not old enough or ready enough to kind of sit still and do a 15 to 20 minute lesson, then you probably want to hold off on it for a little while. It can go all the way up to 8 years old or even older if you have a child who struggles with some special needs. It's very interactive. Each and every section in the game is actually a lesson, and it's broken up into small sections. So it doesn't feel like 15 minutes of work. You'll do a little bit of review of what you learned the day before. Then you're going to go in and you're going to learn a new letter sound until all the sounds have been introduced. Then you're going to apply that and put it into sounding out and blending. It uses a lot of the same tools or work that the book, Have Your Child Read 100 Easy Lessons, something like that uses, in the sense that you're like sliding your finger along, only this time you actually have a slide bar so your child can keep track of where they are. But it's more engaging than that book. It is more colorful, but it's not so many bright colors and things that it is distracting. And the idea is it is designed for the parent and child to do the whole time. There is not an independent aspect of it. And I know that sounds probably like it defeats the purpose of having an app, but for me, I actually found it to be really, really helpful. We did not use it as our primary reading curriculum, but we have used it alongside our kids, using it about 3 times a week, just as we were at different appointments or different things, or just even when my kids came and they wanted to sit down with me, my little ones wanted to sit down with me at the end of a busy day. I was so tired, but I would be able to do this with them. It is completely scripted for you. So it will say, teacher, say this. Kid, do this. And so you are able to follow along very easily. There's no prep that you need to do whatsoever. But this is a fun one where I actually truly saw some great growth and results. And it does have all those extra things like the extra printables. It has the games, it has the readers, all the things that the first couple ones that I mentioned offer as well. Another thing I liked about this particular curriculum is that when reading readers, your child actually has to read the sentence or a couple of words before the picture or illustration is revealed. This was very helpful, as many of my other kids would get so distracted by the pictures in those other apps, in those books, that they would get frustrated or get distracted or guess a lot in their words. This way the picture is covered and it's a nice little automatic reward after your child finishes reading their words. This one is only $6.99 per month, although they do have a yearly price as well. Most of these have free trials that you can try or a light version of the app that you can try as well. So I definitely recommend doing that. I hope that this has helped you find a few different reading apps that you might utilize in your homeschool that you can use to supplement your material or just as something fun when your kids want to have screen time. Be sure to check out this video here to find educational YouTube channels that you might want to know about, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!